Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling utterly drained? Like someone siphoned all of your energy? Or maybe there is a person in your life who always leaves you feeling anxious or questioning your self worth. Or perhaps you have found yourself in a situation where no matter how hard you try, someone just keeps dragging you down. You are not alone. Toxic people can sneak into your lives in subtle ways, and before we know it, their negativity is affecting our mental and emotional well being. But here's the good news: you don't have to let them control you how you feel. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through strategies to not just survive but thrive around toxic people. Drawing from my experience as a clinical psychologist and corporate global well-being leader, I will break down what makes a person toxic and how to set boundaries that protect your peace, and why taking care of yourself is a key in any toxic relationship. So stay tuned as we dive deep into the psychology behind toxic behavior and actionable steps you can start using today. Hi, I'm Sonali Sardana, and I have spent years helping clients navigate the complex dynamics of toxic relationships, whether they show up at work, in friendships, or even with families. Toxic individuals can have a profound impact on your mental health. If you have ever felt emotionally drained, frustrated, or even doubted your own worth after interacting with someone, you are likely dealing with a toxic person. In this video, I will be covering the following. First, understanding what makes a person toxic and why they act the way they do. Second, identifying the common toxic behaviors and learning how to recognize them early. Third, practical techniques to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Fourth, self-care strategies to recover after toxic interactions. Let's start by exploring why some people become toxic. What makes a person toxic? Toxic behavior doesn't necessarily come from people who are inherently bad. Often, these are individuals who are stuck in their own negative patterns, trauma, or insecurities. However, that doesn't make their behavior any less harmful. Here are 3 characteristics that are common among toxic people. Firstly, lack of empathy. Toxic individuals tend to have little understanding or care for how their actions affect others. They might be too focused on their own needs, pain, or ambitions to recognize the emotional damage they are causing. For example, I have a client who described feeling invisible in their toxic relationships, like their feelings and needs didn't matter. Second, manipulation. Toxic people often try to control or manipulate situations and people around them for their own benefit. This can look like guilt tripping, playing with victim, or twisting facts to make themselves look better. Manipulation creates confusion and can make you feel like you are the problem when you are not. Thirdly, chronic negativity. Some toxic people radiate negativity in every interaction. They are quick to criticize, complain, and bring down the energy in a room. This constant pessimism can slowly wear down your emotional resilience. Over time, it can lead to feelings of anxiety, frustration, or exhaustion. For example, I had a client once whose friend constantly criticized her choices, her career, her relationships, even her hobbies. At first, it seemed like harmless advice, but over time, my client found herself second guessing everything. She was always on edge, waiting for the next critical remark. This is a clear example of how toxic negativity can slowly erode your self confidence. Recognizing toxic behaviors. Now that we know what drives toxic behavior, let's dive into some specific types of toxic behaviors that you may encounter. Recognizing these patterns early is crucial for protecting your mental health. Firstly, the criticizer. This person constantly finds fault in others. They don't offer constructive feedback, instead, they attack your self worth. They might say things like, I can't believe you still haven't figured that out, or you are doing it all wrong, which leaves you feeling inadequate. Example, imagine being in a meeting at work where a colleague undermines every suggestion you make. Over time, this erodes your confidence and leaves you feeling incompetent even if you are doing a great job. Second, the manipulator. Manipulators are skilled at using emotional tactics to get what they want. They might make you feel guilty, twist your words, or use your kindness against you. A classic phrase you might hear from a manipulator is, I thought you cared about me, turning your wild concerns into a guilt trip. Thirdly, the drama magnet. Some toxic people thrive on creating chaos. They escalate small issues into big dramas and feed off the emotional responses they provoke. You might feel constantly stressed or on edge when they are around because they are always stirring up conflicts. Fourthly, the victim. People with a victim mentality refuse to take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they blame everyone else for their problems and expect others to solve them. They might say things like, nothing ever goes right for me, making you feel obligated to fix their issues even when it's beyond your control. Strategies for managing toxic people. Now that we have identified the types of toxic behavior, let's talk about what you can do to protect yourself from their influence. These are techniques that will help you regain control and keep your peace of mind. First, set clear boundaries. Boundaries are essential when dealing with toxic people. It is important to set limits on what behavior you will and won't tolerate. Be clear and assertive, but also kind. For example, if a toxic person keeps dumping their emotional baggage on you, you might say, I understand you're going through a lot, but I'm not in a position to help with this right now. Second, limit your exposure. In situations where you can't completely cut toxic people out of your life, like at work or in family dynamics, you can limit how much time and energy you spend on them. Keep interactions short and neutral and avoid engaging in their drama. For example, if a toxic co-worker starts criticizing your work, politely excuse yourself after a brief conversation saying something like, I appreciate your feedback, but I need to get back to my task now. Third, emotional detachment. Toxic people often thrive on your emotional reactions. They want to provoke anger, frustration, or guilt because it gives them control. Practice emotional detachment by responding calmly and without emotion. A simple, neutral responses can often diffuse their attempts to escalate a situation. Fourthly, gray rock technique. This method involves making your interactions as boring and unemotional as possible. Toxic people thrive on drama, so by being dull and neutral, you take away their power. Respond with short, neutral statements like, I see, or that's interesting. For example, if someone is trying to rile you up, respond with short, unemotional answers like, that's interesting, or I see. You don't give them anything to work with. Self-care after toxic interactions. Dealing with toxic people can be exhausting, which is why self-care is crucial. After any interaction with a toxic person, it is important to take time to recharge and regain your emotional balance. First, practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a powerful tool to center yourself after a stressful encounter. Take a few deep breaths, meditate, or simply allow yourself to be present in the moment without judgment. This can help you release the tension that builds up when dealing with toxic people. Second, journal your thoughts. Writing down your feelings after toxic interaction can help you process your emotions and gain perspective. Sometimes putting your thoughts on paper allows you to step back and see the situations more clearly. Third, engage in restorative activities. Whether it's taking a walk in nature, spending time with loved ones, or doing something creative, make sure to engage in activities that nourish your soul and replenish your energy. Remember, toxic people will always exist in some form or another, but they don't have to dictate how you feel or live your life. By setting boundaries, practicing emotional detachment, and focusing on your own self-care, you can navigate these relationships with strength and grace. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need these strategies. Let's continue this conversation in the comments. How do you handle toxic people? Let's support each other in creating healthy, peaceful lives. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care of yourself and protect your peace.